Hello and welcome to the Inani product portfolio training. Today we will be looking at a brief overview of the products offered by PDC from the Inani range, as well as a little bit about the technology behind it. This is just a product overview, so please make sure that you ask any questions that you might have on the online forum. Also, please don't be afraid to contact us at PDC should you have any more questions or if you require any further information. Firstly, we would like to look at our thermal printer range. In PDC, we offer various thermal printers. From the Inani range, specifically, we offer a very entry-level receipt printer range. We have two versions. We have the SRP 350 Plus and we have our GP printer. Both printers are really great quality and are extremely cheap for our market. Essentially, they are POS printers and can be used in retail and hospitality. If you look at the SRP 350, it is supported by iOS and Android. So should your customer be printing from an Android or an iOS device, we can offer support in terms of integration. The printers also have dual interface, so you can either pick serial, parallel, or Ethernet and USB. There are multiple interface choices such as serial and USB, parallel and USB, and Ethernet and USB. So it all depends on your customer's application. I would always recommend that you first ask your customer what interface are they printing through. Are they printing over the network or are they printing using a USB cable? With the GPC printer, it's very much the same. You also have multiple interface options such as serial, parallel, Ethernet, and USB. It is 3-inch printers, so the print width is 3-inch receipt roll. The printer is also compatible with the emulation that is known as Epson Escape POS. So if you're not sure what that is, please make sure you check out a video on printer emulations. Essentially, what a printer emulation is that it allows a printer to communicate with a host device. It's almost like a secret language between the printer and the computer. But what this means is that if your customer is currently using an Epson receipt printer, it will be easy to replace it with one of these printers that we offer. The really great thing with the GPC printer is that it supports 2D barcode printing as an option. That essentially is QR codes. So these printers are quite good in terms of what they can do and the integration. They are supported locally. So we do support them locally. And should your customer have any questions in terms of integration, we do offer that. So we can answer those questions. All you have to do is forward those queries onto us and we can assist your customer. Should your customer want to test out their software with our printers, they're more than welcome to ask us and we can test it out for them. That is an option also. The printers are very easy to install. They're very small and lightweight. The really nice thing with the GPC printer is that it's very sleek looking. So it fits in with the very modern designs that customers are going for these days. And that's essentially thermal printers in a nutshell. It's just our receipt printers. But please don't be afraid to ask any questions should you have any. The next thing I'd like to focus on are our scanners. In PDC, we offer a variety of scanners. In terms of our mobile run-of-the-mill point and shoot devices, we have the 1D IP50 USB scanner, a 2D IP52 USB scanner, and a 2D IP52 RF scanner. Now I'm going to go through each one so you understand exactly what this means. So our 1D IP50 USB scanner, essentially when you see 1D, it means that it scans all linear barcodes, like the barcodes you would find on your packaging, your standard packaging at your local retail shop. It's usually a normal 1D linear barcode. The IP50 rating here, so this refers to the environmental influence on the device. There is a video on IP ratings and what it means, but essentially this refers to the device's ability to withstand water and a drop on a hard surface. USB means that the device attaches to a computer using a USB cable. So it plugs straight into your computer and it acts as a human interface device or HID device, and essentially it works like a keyboard. The 2D IP52 USB scanner is very similar except that it's 2D, which means that it can scan QR codes. The really great thing also is that it's a little bit more rugged than your IP50. As you can see, IP52, which means that it can withstand a greater environmental influence than the IP50. Where things really get interesting is we have what a lot of people refer to as a batch scanner, and that is the 2D IP52 RF scanner. So RF in this case stands for radio frequency. And essentially what this means is that the docking station plugs into the computer and the scanner syncs up over a radio frequency to the docking station. So the scanner isn't connected directly to the PC and therefore it works in a wireless network topology. Essentially what that means is that you can scan as many barcodes in the warehouse and it stores all those barcodes on the device, and then as soon as you're within range, then it syncs up to the docking station and automatically populates your system with those barcodes that were scanned. So the range up to which it works is 200 meters in open air, which means that from 200 meters or to a maximum of 200 meters, you can still scan directly to the computer. Once you're out of that range, it stores it locally on the device, and once you're within the range, it will sync up. So 200 meters is quite a distance. Also, what you can do is you can have multiple devices all set up in such a way that they can each scan to a different PC so that they don't interfere in terms of transmission. So you can have up to 2,000 devices operate in one area without disturbing each other, so they can work simultaneously without interference. Also, on the local storage, in terms of working outside of that 200-meter range, you can store up to 2,000 barcodes on the scanner itself. So once you've passed that 2,000 barcode storage space, then it won't store those barcodes anymore because you'll be out of space. But 2,000 barcodes are quite a lot. So this is what we call a batch scanner. It is quite rugged And we've had a lot of cases where customers like to use this in the warehousing so that they don't have a normal scanner that's attached with a cable that's 30 meters long, but rather you have a wireless cable. The next thing I'd like to touch on is our mobile printer range. What we have here is something that we've seen really take up in the market. A lot of customers are very interested in mobile printing because it's small, it's easy to use, and essentially it reduces that bulk printing and that paper. You can literally have the devices on your person, and you can do all your printing on such a small space. So we've got a wide range of 2, 3, and 4-inch mobile printers. The printers all have the following emulations: ZPL, EPL, and CPCL. And what that means is if your customer is using a Zebra mobile printer, we more than likely can replace it with one of our printers. Same with Altron and same with CPCL. The connectivity options on all the devices are Bluetooth, Wi-Fi, and serial. So what that means is that you can pair up one of these devices with a tablet or a smartphone. And if you have an application on there, such as a delivery application, you can then print a receipt on these devices when doing your deliveries. So it reduces having customers come into a store and rather you go to the customer. And this is part of our new vertical that we're targeting in careers, and even in logistics. But the great market for these is EPOD, so electronic proof of delivery, where a customer signs on the device, they sign their signature on the device, and it prints their receipt and then sends an electronic copy back to the server, where everything is kept digitally and drivers don't need to keep stacks of papers and books with them. Everything is electronic and therefore minimal human error and minimal loss of data. Our compatibilities. So these devices are compatible with Windows, Android, and iOS devices. So whether you are running an app that you found on App Store or on Google Play Store, you will be able to at least integrate that app with our mobile printers. We do also offer support in terms of the SDK and app development. So should your customer have a request for a custom application, we can always look at it and maybe recommend a software partner, or we might even just develop it internally. It depends on the project and the budget. But there are a wide range of applications for these devices. Next, I'd like to look at our label printers. So what we have here is one of our more popular label printers. This here is what we call the DT2. It is a 2-inch direct thermal printer. So if you look here, DT stands for direct thermal, and the 2 means that it's 2-inch. This printer specifically only does direct thermal, which means it does not use a ribbon to print. If you're not sure around the technology, please make sure you watch the video on thermal technology. These printers are really great for printing tickets and labels, whether it's roll or fan folded. It doesn't matter. If you look here, you'll see that there's a slot at the back. So if you're printing fan folded tickets, you can feed it in from the back through the slot and it will print normal. Or you can have a roll of labels or a roll of continuous form paper. These printers can print barcodes, so 1D and 2D barcodes. They come standard with a USB, Ethernet, and serial interface. So if you look at the back here, you'll see that's a USB interface, that's a serial interface, and that's an Ethernet interface or network interface. So your customer can put this printer on the network and print. And it prints on black mark media, so your tickets are all black mark media usually, or perforated paper, or continuous form paper. So there's a wide range of applications for these printers. They're very robust. They do come with a free label design software. So if your customer is looking for just a startup label printing solution, this is a very good startup, cheap label printing solution. And then the next thing I'd like to touch on are our thermal ribbons. You have three main categories of thermal ribbons. You have wax resin, and you have resin. So all this refers to is, it refers to the type of ink that can bond to a specific label material. So you have various label materials such as paper, such as semi-gloss, gloss, polypropylene. There are various label materials. I could go on. And each one has a specific ribbon that is compatible with it for the best quality. Now, I'm not going to go too much into this, but if you're unsure of which ribbon is suitable for your label, the best thing to do would be to test it. So you can either acquire samples from us, or you can send us samples of your customers' labels or paper, and we can test it in-house for you and offer the best solution. To give you an idea, your wax ribbons, they work really well on your paper material, so where the material is very porous, such as clothing tags or labels for boxes, storage labels, that sort of stuff. So for porous material, where it binds a lot better. Your wax resin is a combination of the two, so it's a hybrid ribbon, and it bonds a lot better than wax to certain glossier materials like a semi-gloss material, but it's not as durable as a resin ribbon, which can bind to plastics and laminate. So your resins are quite durable and they last quite a long time on those materials because of how they bond. So this is just a few applications of the ribbon and the different types of material. If you would like more information around this, you're more than welcome to contact us, or you can always go onto the Armour Africa website. Armour Africa has very detailed spec sheets on each of the ribbons, and they've got spectrums which you can review and white papers which you can go and read up on. So it's very easy, but it's also quite a lot of information. And then the next thing I'd like to touch on a little bit is just about the vertical markets. So as a company, we target many vertical markets. As you can see, our products can fit into a lot of different applications. Now, if you're looking at the logistics side, asset tracking is a very big one. A lot of our customers tend to go for barcoding solutions or dispatching and deliveries, printing delivery notes and tracking stocks within the warehouse. For that, you need barcode scanners and labels and thermal printers. So the logistics companies are a very key factor and very key vertical market for us. In manufacturing, you're looking at distribution and dispatch labeling as well as traceability. On the conveyor systems on the production lines, customers also like to keep track of their assets at each point of the production line. dispatching products from the factory to the distribution center. So the manufacturing industry is also a very big one for us. In the mining sector, again, asset tagging, so printing labels for clothing. In the healthcare, labeling of pharmaceuticals and asset tracking for stock take. So keeping track again of assets of pharmaceuticals. Again, it's printers, it's labels, it's ribbon, it's consumable business, and a lot of it is where a lot of where we make our money is in the consumable side of things. All these places use paper or ribbon or labels, and that's where we get our money basically. In the banking sector, take a number, and in government, asset tagging and traceability. So again, a lot of it has got to do with asset tagging and traceability, stock take solutions, keeping track of stock. That is one of our key focuses, and we have a lot of requests come in for asset tracking and asset tracing. So I always encourage you to just ask your customer, what are they trying to achieve? Don't be afraid to ask that question, because once we understand what your customer is looking for, then we can understand which products we think would fit best for that customer's specific application.